something I've been thinking about quite a bit is my ideas. Now, I gotta be straightforward with you. I think my ideas are the best ideas in the world, right? I mean, come on now. Who else got a mind like me? Yeah, I'm playing. I don't know. I might have failed. Anyway, ideas that I have for myself that I put out into the world, obviously I think are legit. I think they're dope. But I have to recognize the context in which these ideas are being placed and not have my ego so attached to them. Because once I put my idea out there, once I have something I think about, I immediately attach my identity to it. I immediately feel like, I want this idea to succeed to the fullest. And, 85% of the time, that's not that way. And honestly, because of that, because I feel that so much identity attached to my ideas, sometimes I hold on to my ideas so tight that I'm either afraid to let them go, or afraid for other people to see them, or just afraid to have them shot down because they're me. Like if I'm telling you something that's my idea, I will want obviously to be accepted. I think at least if this idea is going out there and you shoot it down, that means I'm not accepted. That means I'm not wanted. That means you don't like me. And that's not the case at all. And if I continue to have that perspective of having my identity wrapped in my ideas, then I will never, ever be able to see things happen or see things move forward because my ego and my pride is attached to it. And so I just want to encourage you to not have your identity attached to your ideas. We need to be able to separate our identity from our ideas. And by separating our identity from our ideas, what that helps create in us is the ability to see things happen in the best way that's possible. Because my vantage point, the way that I see the world, is obviously not the only way that the world should operate. And by having other perspectives speak into these ideas will help make the initiative run a lot smoother and more inclusive and more belonging for others, rather than just seeing my vision be occurring in the way that I see it. I want the ideas that I bring into the world be better through the voices of other individuals, through the voices of those who have different vantage points than me. And the way to do that well is just to separate my identity from it, because my identity is not wrapped in my ideas. It should not be wrapped in my faults, failures, and even the things that I succeed in. And how do we then step into certain spaces and shed that thought process to allow the idea to be what the idea needs to be for the group and for the team? So ways to help you do that, ways that at least I've gone through to help me think about how do I separate my ideas from my identity. The first one is to see everything as an experiment. Everything is an experiment, because that's how life works, right? Like everything we see around us is being developed and created as we see it, right? And sure, there are nothing's new under the sun. It just has a different flavor attached to it. But if you are putting an idea out there in the world, if you see it as an experiment, you are able to let it to let it be developed and created and molded and shaped into what it needs to be versus what you think it should be. So the first thing you gotta do is see things as an experiment. The second thing is to think of others more than yourself. By putting the idea out there, you are working towards having that idea help for the whole team, not just for your own sake and for your own initiatives, but everybody involved. And if you have that perspective in thinking of the other person when you put that idea out there, it allows you to take a step back and put your ego aside, put your identity aside, and allow whatever idea that is being created to be developed for the whole team. And the last thing we should do is to rest your identity in something greater, something greater than yourself. Now, I'm a man of faith, and I believe that my identity rests in Christ. And everything I do is for Christ and for the kingdom and the advancement, and I am a vessel to help bring the gospel and bring a light into that space. And by me resting my identity into that, that allows whatever I do to be utilized to the fullest, not for my own gain, but for the Lord's gain. And with that comes with my ideas. If my ideas are rooted in something, if my identity is rooted in something greater than that, then anything that I put out there, yes, it is going to be with good conscience, right? Or good service or goodwill. Like I'm not going to be like, do something that is detrimental to another human being because I do have the humanity and integrity. However, I'm not going to allow my identity to be so wrapped up in the idea that I set forth that it just eats away from my heart and who I say I am or who I am called to be. So separate your ideas from your identity by seeing everything as an experiment, thinking of others first more than yourself, and having your identity tied to something greater than you. So my call to action for you is to think about something that is an idea of yours, whatever that may be, and release it out into the world and have no attachment to it. It's going to be tough. I get it. Especially for those who think often and like, I have a bunch of ideas. Be able to release an idea out into the wild and not expect it to be attached to you, be tied to you. No strings attached, put it out there in the world. See how it goes. Let me know what happens. And my question for you, because as I want you to reflect on this, is what is the one idea or one initiative that you would love to see happen? And let that be the first one that you put out into the wild and not have your identity associated with it. Thanks so much for listening and continue to share your story. Peace.